Yo, what's good, everybody? It's JB the Cowboy fan. I'm back with another one. What's good, everybody, on this Saturday afternoon, man? Well, afternoon, late evening now. I see you, Mills. What's good with you, Mills? Who is this? What the fuck? Now all the content creators about to do film on him. I guess we got the next JJ Watt. Oh yeah, next week we getting TJ Watt. Yeah, man. Yeah, this guy, let's see. Jonathan Bullard. Yeah, but I'm gonna get to that, man. But shit, what's going on right now? I think because they drafted these guys on the D line, I think trying to shore up the run game. But this guy's on a 1 year deal for like what? I think you can get up to 2.5 mil, more like an incentive based contract. It sounds like a lot of contracts they just signed with these cornerbacks and these safeties. They got from, Arizona, and Denver, and Rams. I still want to see some linebackers come up here, so I'm still thinking 2 LBs in the first round. Still thinking LBs in the first round. This guy was 6'3", 290. Last year he had 0 sacks, 4 tackles for loss, 26 total tackles. PFF ranking 61 out of 134 games. He only played 15 games. This guy 33 years old, man. But you hear what's going on now? God, they got another deal done. Jerry going crazy in free agency. Cowboy Brown, what's up, Cowboy Brown? And we are traded for Myles Garrett as well. So that, yeah, man, like, talk about something when it's done. But we've already had the talks and the scenarios right before free agency really started about should they sign Myles Garrett, Max Crosby, Trey Hendrickson. We had these discussions already, so they going back and making more videos about this shit all of a sudden. The hope is that they selling, bro. It's fucking crazy. Oh, my bad. Yes, we getting Garrett, TJ Watt, and Max Crosby. They said Jerry had said facts, Mills. You right on point, man. Man. I don't see Jerry Jones doing what he said he was gonna do. What he say he was gonna bust the budget? Budget buster. Nah, man. To me, he ain't bust no budget on defense, bro. Uncensored Cowboy, what's up, bro? Dude is fucking Mozzie Smith, basically. Oh shit, man! Another 1 year another 1 year deal. Dude, 33 years old, down there over the hill by now. He done already played 10 years in the league, and we get another. He pretty much about over the hill, bro. 33. It was just a body then. This must just be a body to be in there and help stop the run because he ain't do shit last year. Derek, why you got Williams and Clark? This is nonsense. Yeah, why you got Williams? I mean, like I said, I think they trying to, just build a D line and have some backups. But still, if your backups is on halfway, one leg in the league and one leg out the league, what's the purpose of signing him as a backup? I don't get that. I just think they kind of like I've been saying. I think their mindset is on offense. I think they patching holes on defense, but they ain't made no real significant statement in free agency so far to me. As far as signing a dog or something, what I'm saying, LB, especially on the defense. I don't know. Cowboy Brown, Garrett only makes 40 million per season, so the Cowboys can easily afford him. If we can afford everybody according to them, it don't matter what you got to give up, what you lose, but they don't say that have that same mind frame of starting over without Dak Prescott though. Oh, Wally, what's up, bro? Y'all should have known he wasn't going to change. I mean, I'm not surprised, Jerry. Really ain't bust the budget. Jerry just be talking shit, bro. See, he also said this year in offseason we got a championship team. No doubt we'll be in the Super Bowl this year. You got Jerry. That what he say? Mm-hmm. So he's the social security equivalent of the right, bro. Exactly, man. This dude 33 years old, bro. Are you kidding me? Miss Major, hey JP, what's up, Miss Major? It's good with you. I'm gonna go ahead and drop the link in the chat like now, but I think we need to talk about this shit. Get y'all thoughts on that. I think they buttering this shit up to go offense. I really think these guys gonna go pick a damn wide receiver, bro. I'm telling you, I think they're buttering this shit up to go offense. They think they're really making some moves. Most of the moves they made to bring in to be starters. Shit, they doing it with backup players. How you signing backup players to make them your starters? That shit ain't making no sense to me. 4K on the beat. What up, Derek?
What's up, man?
Not much, man.
I'm still trying to process what you post here. Censor nailed it, but I'm still trying to process it, man. I'm sorry. It just don't add up. I'm sorry, it don't. Now, if you told me they signed some over-a-hill defensive ends and stuff like that, that's okay. I kind of get it. But unless you tell me this is a camp body, I mean...
That's what it looked like basically to me, man. I'm like, okay, this guy been in the league 10 years. But this signing is an example of a few of the other signings doing the free agency. 1-2 year deals. Nobody too sure. Like, are they supposed to all just gel together with a new DC at his job, rookie DC? Like, but everything is fine according to them. This move is perfect. That's all they've been saying. All the signings and free agency. Oh, this is a perfect move. We stole them. What?
Yeah. I don't know. I keep looking, and I'm trying to look at these ends they have in this draft, and you got bookends. You don't have any, at least for the Cowboys are going to draft. There are no pass rushers really, but you have some bookends that can help you with stopping the run and all that. But that's not enough, So it's
Cowboy Brown say the best player available for the Cowboys at pick 12 will probably be an offensive player. So will the Cowboys pick the best player available or go with the defense for need? Man, they already scared. They talking about they don't want to reach. Even Shotty was talking about that. I was just saying, like, Nick, do your due diligence. Don't be scared.
Who are the injured? Who are that you have to look out for? So Jordan Tyson. Like you said, you want your wide receiver. So the wide receiver from Arizona State will be there.
Yeah, but I don't want no goddamn wide receiver. We need to go defense.
I don't want them either. I'm just telling you based on what they do. That's all.
I know, man, but I don't want no damn. I don't want no offensive player. Period. I'm sorry, not with the first two picks.
No.
But what you saying to that Cowboy Brown? I think they just setting up this shit just to go goddamn with an
Yeah.
offensive. That's what I said. They setting this shit up just to go offense, man. I think
And
Terry probably would lose his mind and shit himself if they don't drive no wide receiver. And I bet you that's what they gonna do.
oh yeah, I mean everything points that. Damn. Hold on, let me reset this.
Yeah, but I'm thinking just hit the link back. But it's I'm seeing it, and I think it's gonna happen. Unfortunately, they're gonna go offense, man. I think they're gonna go wide receiver, which I don't think they should do. You good?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's better. Didn't have the echoing. No, I think they're gonna go wide receiver. They shouldn't, but they're probably going to do that. I think you can probably trade down and based on bookends, or maybe if you want to be aggressive, like Jerry says he is, and you have to give up your two picks this year up higher, because I mean you're gonna have to be like in the. I don't see how you can trade with Washington, but it's either the Saints or try to trade up above Washington to get one of those defensive players like Bailey, because Bailey should be there within the first 7 picks. So
Hey,
maybe
no, Derek. This what I've been hearing. Says Jeremiah. What's that reporter guy? I can't forget. I can't remember what network he on, but I think his first name Jeremiah. He be talking about picks and shit.
yeah.
Damn, Slurpee was saying because he said that he done went through his mock draft and he still sees Caleb Williams available to us at 12. So cause Jeremiah said that shit, that mean it's facts.
Wow.
How the fuck do we know that Caleb Downs is gonna be there? Still at 12.
That would be a miracle. I don't see how
What?
that happens, but I mean, crazier things have happened, man. We got that 1 year with CD that I was surprised he was available at that point. But that was a luxury pick. Caleb Downs is not a luxury pick. He would be an awesome pick, but I mean, I think you would have to trade up to get him. I don't see. I mean, everyone keeps going back to the what's his name, Hamilton, or whatever his name is for the Ravens that year when he dropped because the safety position is devalued. But Caleb Downs, man, he's special.
Oh, okay, well, that's safety, right? Ain't he a safety, right?
Yeah, he's a safety. He's really very good safety. I don't think we've seen a safety like that since for at least in the Cowboys area since Woodson. But Cowboy Brown's correct in terms of the Cowboys might be looking to say, hey, Pickens is too much money. Jordan Tyson should be available with our first pick.
Okay, now if I see something like that now, man, we're probably gonna need a wide receiver. Man. It won't hurt to go if we would make a deal with Pickens and shit like that. I get it.
Yeah,
but
I'm just saying that's probably what's going to happen.
You do got a good point there, Cowboy.
I mean, think about it. You could trade on. I mean, here's the thing, right? If you could trade Pickens, let's say let's give the Cowboys some credit in a sense. I'm trying to do this. Let's say that the Cowboys go to the Browns and they trade Pickens to the Browns, right, for their pick, which the Browns need a receiver bad. And let's face it, George Pickens is the number one. Mm-hmm. You get the 6th pick in the draft with that, and you could get one of those defensive ends or the safety or whichever, or maybe Jeremiah Love just to piss him off and piss off a lot of Cowboy fans for the running back position. But then you still have your pick at 12, and you can probably pick the best player for that. I mean, the tight end from Oregon, man, he's special, man. That's one of those players that you can't just overlook just because you have a tight end and you're paying him a lot of money.
Offense. Oh my God.
What's that?
Hey, we talk about the offense, man, in the draft, bro. It's starting to switch from the defense to the offense, man.
And I know it is. Look, I want the defense. I just knowing the Cowboys' track record, man, they're gonna just go after the offense.
That would be a grave mistake to me. Now I get it if the top, like let's say, like the guy from Ohio State is going linebacker.
Right.
You know, the guy from Georgia. You just say they gone, okay, and so and one of those positions is still there and it fall to us. Eh,
Well, like I said,
I guess
if Caleb Downs is there, you better take him. I mean, that's just a no brainer.
okay.
And Sonny Styles is the linebacker. I just don't see how he falls that far. If he does, that's another player. You just cannon
But
the card and go.
I'll try to look for that.
Yeah.
But you got a point. He might not be there at 12. I mean, shit. But goddamn, I mean, I'm just set on defense. I'm tired of fucking excuses. You feel me? We
Oh
need
yeah.
to drive. Just like let's do say that. Yeah, they better use both of those pick two impact players on defense. Day one starters. That's what
And
I'm
that's
saying.
yeah. I mean, you want that, but like I said, you got to look at see what's there. I mean, you got some players. Like I said, there's some bookends they could get. There's this guy I'm looking at from Illinois. Can't his name is escaping me right now, but kind of reminds me of Prince Sleed, who went to the Carolina Panthers this past year. But he's a guy that obviously can stop the run. I don't think he's not going to get you 12 sacks a year or anything like that, but he might get you like 6, 7, or 8. But the bottom line is, you ain't getting pushed around.
Yeah,
That's a good start. And then in the later rounds, remember we have a 4th-round pick, right?
third. We got a third.
We have a 3rd.
Osa. We got a third from the Niners.
Okay. I mean, there's a Zion. What's his name? Zion, whatever. From hold on a sec. What school is he from again? Is it Zion Young or something like that? Someone in the chat wants to know what I'm talking about. But there's a defensive end. I forgot what school he's from. Hold on. But he's another one that's supposed to be pretty good. That you get later on. But in terms of like the creme of the creme, yeah, I don't think. Zion Young, yeah, edge from Missouri, yeah, he's another one that you can get. Matter of fact, Zion Young might be the guy you get first before the guy I was talking about from Illinois, Gabe. His name's Gabe, yeah. But
even if we go DN though, I'm cool with that.
well, that's what we need, man.
Yeah, I mean, like, no, like you said, Caleb Downs is there at 12, no brainer. I got you. We still need safety play. You know what I'm saying? Regardless, but I'm just thinking like building them trenches. I think it'll help out. You know what I'm saying? The secondary. If we got the players up front,
right? I mean, there's also that end from Auburn, but like everyone talks about, he doesn't seem twitchy enough. But once again, if you can just hold the line, I mean, that's a win also. So, I don't know, man. I just think I'm with you. I think that I would double down on the defense, whether it's two defensive ends, a linebacker, defensive end, something, because you got to address that defense. But I just don't trust the Cowboys, man. I could easily see them. Jordan Tyson falls to that position, falls down to where they can pick him at 12, and these idiots would do it. I really do think that. The only offensive player, man, that was to fall to them at that point, which is realistic, that I probably be okay with, is the tight end from Oregon. But they ain't gonna do that, so I just don't.
They pick Schoonmaker ass up in the second round.
Yeah.
Well, you know what, Terry, it's kind of up in the air with them what they're gonna do, and it's almost I'm sadly saying that they gonna draft an offensive player.
Oh, I know. It's just
hell.
Yeah. I mean, you just look at how the board is ranked. I just see them doing that. Brown's talking about how running back Love is a top rated player, and if he's still on the board at 12 for the Cowboys to pick, yeah, you would be tempted to pick him. I mean, that'd be stupid not to take Love if he's available at 12, because I mean, if you look around, who is going to be there at 12 that's better than Love as an all-around football player? Love ain't going to be there. I guarantee you that. The Giants are going to get him. Huh?
I said, I guess that's what they talking about BPA right now.
Yep.
I don't think we should be getting shook off of that shit. It's just, I guess like you said, it's just all according to what what I'm saying happens in the draft. Who falls, who go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and
What team?
the two positions we know that dropped the most really is like you said is safety. We know that drops down a lot in running back. So I mean, downs. I mean, look here as I see. Hold on, let's look at it this way. Let's see who picks for the Cowboys. So you got
Yeah.
okay. Let's look. Okay, so you got the Saints, right?
What pick they
Saints.
got? They got the number one pick. Who got the
The
number one
Saint,
pick?
the number one pick is the Raiders. So they're gonna grab a quarterback.
Okay, we got the
Then you
Raiders.
got then you got the Jets next, and they're gonna probably get either Reese or Bailey.
Okay.
And then you got the Cardinals. They can go so many different ways because they have so many needs. But
They need a quarterback, don't they? Oh, they
yeah,
got.
but there's no quarterback. There's no quarterback worth the third pick. So
That's true.
the question is, do they take a defensive end? They need that. They need defense. Do they take a offensive tackle? It could go either way. And then you got the Titans. They need offense and defense as well. So they can go. I mean, either way there. I think they'd probably go with offensive line, most likely. And then the Giants, if you want to protect your quarterback, if I'm them, I take Love because that just makes things a lot easier for them.
Coming off that injury, so that would kind
Yeah,
of make it for them.
right. And then the Browns need a receiver, so if they're smart, they take that receiver from Ohio State, bring him home. That's a fan favorite there.
We still got linebackers up there, though, bro.
Yeah, yes. So Sonny Styles is still there, right? So now we go to Washington. They need running back, wide receiver, D lineman, safety. So, but then again, this is Dan Quinn. He had his taste of Micah Parsons, so he looked at Sonny Styles from Ohio State. He could probably see the same thing again. So there goes Sonny Styles, if you ask me. And then that leaves you with the Saints, who I believe you would be able to trade with. Yeah, number 8 for the Saints.
Okay.
And that's the only people I could see you could have traded with earlier, but if those players are gone, then there's no point. But the Saints, I think they'll take that tackle from Miami because they need to continue to solidify their offensive line. And then 9, you got the Chiefs. They're going to probably take that corner from LSU. 10, you got the Bengals. Once again, they'll probably go defense again. Dolphins, they need to replenish their receivers. And then there comes us. So,
CJ Allen still up there then?
Yeah, CJ Allen would be there. The question is he worth that at 12? That's a question that they'd have to figure out based on their board. So you got CJ Allen will be there. Jordan Tice, like we talked about, still there. That safety from Toulouse, McNeil Warren, he's good. He's supposed to be there, or could be there based on how we're kind of setting it up. You got Falk from Auburn, defensive end, and there's an end from Texas A&M, Howell. I forgot about him. So I mean, they could address it. It's just a question of who do they have higher on their board. And like I said to you earlier, that tight end from Oregon's there. I mean, the reason I go back to him is because not only is he like a tight end, but he's also a guy who can play in the slot. So he just, he does he scratches that itch that Jerry has left over from who's that tight end that went to Falcons? Damn.
Because at one point, shit, that fanboy Slurpees was making videos about him.
I know, yeah, right. But I'm just saying that he scratches that itch because he's a guy that could become a 1,000-yard target, And
Pitts. What's his name?
Pitts? Yeah, Kyle Pitts. Yeah, Kyle Pitts. And this guy is kind of not built exactly the same, but he has the potential to be one of those players that is a joker on offense for you. But
hey, what's up, bro?
Yeah. So,
hey, how y'all doing today?
What's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on?
Not much.
I don't know. What are we talking about tonight?
Yeah, that's my I was about to read your comment. Like, yeah, nobody expected this.
Yeah, you got that right.
Yeah, no. Those dudes that title their damn every time we make a free agent move, it's some corny title like nobody expected this, or we stole them, or this was the perfect move. I they proceed to like break down film on why this guy is gonna come in here and dominate. Like, and I'm like you said, JB, man, all these different pieces we're bringing in here, like none of these dudes ever played together. When a brand new rookie DC who's never ran a defense before,
Mhm.
and I'm supposed to believe that these dudes are all gonna come together and it's gonna gel. Man, it's gonna be nobody's gonna be able to run against us. I mean, we haven't stopped the run in 15 years, but all of a sudden this year, man, Christian Parker's gonna. We're getting the right guys in here. Like Jonathan Bullard, I know who he is. I know the name,
Yeah.
but here's my thing. He's what 33 years old,
Yeah.
and I mean, dude's past his prime. I mean, he's a kid. He's a rotational piece, maybe like a camp body. I don't know. I'm not impressed.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, I mean that's what it seems like.
He ain't no starter. Uh-uh.
No, not at
That
all.
and that's the
But
problem with us right there, man.
and that's why we're saying, man. I mean, if you look at this draft, I mean, like I said, there's a lot of ends that you can get. That if your whole objective is to make sure that no one can run on you, you can do that. That's not hard. It's just in terms of having those blue chip players that can make a difference. I just don't know if we're going to be in position based on just if we stay where we're at to get one, because a lot of them are going to be gone.
Well, and there it's going to be hard to stop the run with no linebackers.
Mhm.
I mean, if we are truly going to run a 3-4 base,
I don't
like
believe that at all. I mean, they
I
just keep
don't
saying
either. I don't either. I think it's going to be like what you saw Green Bay do, where they say they're a 3-4, but really it's a 4-3 because that fourth down lineman is a stand-up guy, moves around.
that.
So it can look like a 3-4 sometimes, but we don't have the personnel to run a 3-4.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm looking at. I'm looking at. I'm going to say back to what I was saying about ends. There's some ends in this
yeah,
draft that are pretty big, and they can do that. Like the kid from
yeah,
Illinois.
100%,
You
100%.
can get them. You can get them, and that's not using your first round pick. It's just that I look at the 12th pick. It's like, okay, what can I get defensively that's going to be an impact player? And I just
I
don't see
think
it.
I think Bain would be a great addition if we're truly going to be a 3-4.
But he ain't going to be there at 12.
Well, you don't know that though, bro. That's the thing. You don't know that, and I'm not. Listen, every year, man, before the draft, all these draft quote unquote draft experts
Right.
will sit here and tell you that this is how the draft's going to go. There's always curveballs. There's going to be a team that drafts offense that everybody expected to draft defense,
Mm-hmm.
and it's going to push players down. Now, am I saying that I know how it's going to go? No, but I will say this: I don't think they should try to trade up at all. If anything, trade out.
And I agree with you because once again,
Yeah.
you have a quarterback eating up so much cap. So actually, not just a quarterback. Your whole roster construction and how you sign players is ass backwards. So
100%. I agree with you. But here's the thing, man. We need bodies.
I know
At this
that's why.
point, like we need bodies. The more bodies we can draft, the better.
Well, that's
You
what
know.
this supports your point because then if you trade
Yeah.
back, you get more picks, you get more buys. Absolutely.
100%. Yeah, 100%. That's all I'm saying. Is
Yeah.
that we need more picks because they want to play. They want to play. Fuck around games in free agency.
Mm-hmm.
So now once again they're going to rely heavy on the draft, and I don't have 100% confidence that Will McClay is going to knock it out of the park. I haven't seen it in the past 3-4 years. It's been awful.
Well, yeah, because in the other drafts, they either draft based on need and they force the issue, or
Yeah.
you look at the draft and it's okay. Now you have to really be good at scouting to find good players.
Or you waste top 100 picks on players you don't need, like Schoonmaker.
Yeah, well, that's an example of it where they thought he was a blue chip player and he wasn't. That's what down to your
Well,
scout.
no, McCarthy thought that he was a blue chip player.
Well, it doesn't matter whether McCarthy, whatever. The Cowboys themselves, at the end of the day, they decided they thought he was a blue chip player and he's not.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah.
So I'm just saying that, I'm looking at this draft. Are there a bunch of defensive ends? Because this is a defensive end rich draft. So you should be able to walk away with at least two of those. My question is, like we talked about, you have no damn linebackers. So how are you going to do that?
Well, if they sit at 12, and as far as I look at it, if they sit there at 12 and let it come to them, they're going to take the linebacker that's there. It could be Allen. It could be Rob. Get ready for him to draft Rodriguez at 12. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. I mean, that's a little high.
It is high, but this team, I mean, they drafted Chocolate Charlton in the first round, so I'd be,
Oh God, why you got to bring
I know.
Forget that. Come on, man.
I'm never going to let anybody forget that because that's your team. That's what we got to deal with every fucking year with bad drafting. It goes back to what my man Teflon always says when he's in here. You know what I mean? Like, there's no football minds in that front office.
True.
And I don't have faith in Will McClay. Excuse me, I don't. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. You know what I mean? Like, that dude's not proven to me that he can draft. Maybe he could 10 years ago. Well,
when it's a no-brainer pick, he does well.
When it's like when it's a no-brainer like Travis Frederick or Zach Martin or Tyron Smith, or Tyler Smith for that matter. He's pretty good at drafting linemen. I'll give him that. But sometimes we look into players like CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons and guys like that. They fall to us, but you can't rely on. That's not a draft strategy.
No, it's
Hope
not.
and pray. He might fall to us, and that's what they're going to do. They're going to sit there to 12, and they're going to pick a guy, and they're going to reach, and everybody's going to be like, "We could have got that dude at 20." Or it's going to be a fucking wide receiver like JB's been saying. And let me tell you, that's one of the reasons why I came in tonight to say, support what JB's saying. Man, me and Tef and all my crew over there, we've been talking about this for the last couple of months, man. Don't be surprised if we get a lineman or they get a wide receiver.
Well, it's like what Brown said here. If the tackle from the Hurricanes drops down, he's there at 12. Don't be surprised if they take him. But at the same time, I'll be honest with you. If that guy somehow makes it there, I really can't say nothing.
I would not be surprised. You don't think Tyler Booker's talking to that O-line or the coaches, the OC, and say, "Hey, that Caden Proctor's pretty good lineman."
Yeah,
he played with him.
Yeah,
he might be. He's like, "Hey, you need to go get Caden. You want to get a real tackle in here?"
He'll have tackle.
Yeah, that from Alabama. I mean, that kid's a monster.
That's another one. Yeah, I'm just saying. Him, the guy from the kid from Miami.
I like Freeland too.
Yeah,
Freeland's good. Yeah,
either one of them is there. I mean, I really can't get mad about it, but at the same time, it's getting old because how many first-round picks are all in your offensive line? You got to.
But listen, bro, you can't sit there and tell me you have 100% faith that Tyler Guyton's our blindside tackle for the future.
I didn't say that either. I'm just pointing out.
Yeah.
I didn't say that.
But you see the conundrum we're in, bro, right?
Yeah, he was a first-round pick too, right?
Yeah, but he's also yes, he was. But it was reached for him. Huh?
All three Tylers was a first-round pick.
Who?
All three of the Tylers got?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. All three of them first round picks. But we reached for Guyton big time. Like, that was a big reach. That was a panic.
They kept looking at him like he's Flozo Adams, and I'm like,
I don't know what they saw in him to think that he's Flozo Adams, because Flozo Adams in college was a monster.
That's not. Thank you, but that's why I said when they're all hear these reports how they saw him like Flo. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Bro, Guyton too soft for the NFL, bro. I've been saying that about that kid. He's too soft.
Yeah, but I said about Ohio. Not Ohio.
You ever see that footage video? You ever seen a video of the pregame warm-ups and all the linemen were standing together and Tyler Smith's punching all the linemen in the chest, and he gets to Guyton and he punches him, and you can see the look in Guyton's face like it almost broke him. Like, you can see, he's like, oh, like it hurt him. I was like, dude, that dude's soft as shit.
Well, listen, I never trust Oklahoma's offensive linemen as a whole. Typically, just like
I
you
don't.
don't trust Michigan.
Well, I hate Oklahoma with a passion because I'm a UT fan. But
Yeah, I know. This is
so but I can't. Yeah, but I mean, I will admit Roy Williams was a stud. Until he got.
I'm talking about O lineman, man. From
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't trust Oklahoma quarterbacks either. But you can say what you want about Baker Mayfield. I can say what you want about Baker Mayfield, but I wouldn't trust him. Not with my franchise.
No.
But he's too much of a gunslinger. But anyway, back to the point. Yeah, I'm with JB, man. I've been saying it for a while too, man. These great minds think alike. I think they need to double down on linebacker in the first round.
Yeah.
Do something innovative, man. Do something different.
Well, I'm just saying that I just think that you have if you want
different, right?
What's that?
They say Jerry moving different.
That's what they say. But I ain't seen it yet. I ain't seen nothing different.
Right. Well, I'm just looking at the standpoint which are you more likely to have a better success rate with, and I just think that they're going to have a better chance of just solidifying that defensive line.
Yeah.
Again, the linebacker. I mean, if CJ Allen's there, I would hope they have enough sense to take him. But
me as well, and I think he probably will be there at 12.
Yeah, I think
there's a real good chance.
Right.
And I don't think they ought to take a chance, and maybe if they could look at the teams behind them and they make a proper analysis of their needs, they can back to like 15 or 16, and he'll still be sitting there.
Yeah.
But why risk it? I mean, at that point, that's the problem, brother. Is like you guys have been saying. Now we got to draft for need, and so now we got to reach for Allen at 12. Instead of just drafting best player available because they went out in free agency and got a good linebacker.
Yeah, because I mean, crazy thing. I mean, here's the thing. This is the scary thing that can happen, and this is why I'm really scared about the 12th pick. Players that can be there and knowing it doesn't take much to entice Jerry. Even the wide receiver from USC, Lemon, could be there. And I don't like. I'm not a fan of Lemon, but I'm just saying he's
an oddball. He's an oddball, but I mean, since when does that really matter? Like I like psycho dude. I like psycho players actually, but anyway.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, but you don't need them. But they could do that. Lemon.
They could. They could just grab the best damn skill player sitting there.
Right.
By their draft board, whoever they think the better receiver is of the group. And they could do that and make the offense even better. Because now we got Pickens, this young rookie, and CeeDee Lamb, and this young kid doesn't have to carry the load.
Well, I think that I mean, if you take Lemon, let's say Lemon's there. Back to what I was saying to JB, this is where you can. But no, actually, Pickens hasn't signed his franchise, so you can't trade him. Never mind.
I mean, well, I mean, might as well at this point, man. You tagged him like. I think they're going to pay him, which I think is a mistake, but that's a whole nother story. I'm just saying they could do that had they done free agency properly. Had we done free agency properly last year, we'd have some good players on our team still. Defense wouldn't be as much of a, linebacker may not be as much of a glaring need right now.
Well, if you didn't have Eberflus as a defensive coordinator, which I still could not get over that. I was just like. Just adding on to the fire.
Man, I'm going to say it like this about Eberflus, brother, and I'm not defending the guy. I think he was too stubborn for his own good, but they also set him up for failure. You got to look at the overall picture. Like, he thought he was going to have Micah, and they fucking traded him out from under him. And then they really didn't do him no favors with that shitty free agency they had last year. I mean, I'm not excusing his coaching job that he did, which was crappy, but they also set him up for failure. I really believe
true,
it.
and it's true in the sense that most defensive coordinators still would have struggled based on how the team was built defensively.
I don't know if most. So some guys could have gotten more out of it, but
that's what I'm getting. But that's what I'm getting at because he's not a coach that can adapt. And if you look at his history, like when he was in Carolina, which everyone teams talking about how well he did in there, he had an all-world linebacker there. And then when he got into Chicago, that's when he got thoroughly.
That's when he started. Well, yeah, he didn't have a linebacker anymore. And a lot of that defense is predicated on the 3-tech and the middle linebacker. And Eberflus is freaking system. Yeah. But
he's still on mute.
Who?
Sport.
Oh.
Yo, what's up, guys? What are you all talking about?
Just
About-
basically talking
Talking
about
about,
it's
talking
a
about the
possibility
defense.
might go offense in the draft instead of prioritizing the defense.
Bro, if they go offense with that 12th pick, even the 20th pick, something's getting lit on fire. I'm sorry.
I mean, don't be surprised if they do it.
That's
Don't-
what I'm saying. That's
don't be
all I'm
surprised.
saying.
Don't be surprised if they do it.
Here's the thing. If they would have went in free agency and paid, $2-3 million more dollars for Nakobe Dean, you get your Mike linebacker, you sign a pretty solid defensive end to play in the 34, then I'm cool with taking the best player available, right? That's when they tend to make their best picks.
Yes.
But when they don't do that,
True.
then you end up with the Mozzie Smiths and the Tyler Guytons. So they did the same thing this year. And then you have the head coach out there saying that they filled their holes really well in free agency. Bullshit.
Well, I mean, he's taking players to dinner because he doesn't need to see what they do on the practice field. He just needs to get to know them personally.
Yeah, Schottenheimer's full of shit, man.
He's so full of shit. That guy, every time he talks, I'm like, man, stop lying, bro. Stop lying.
I was going to say this. I mentioned it.
Yeah.
I have a source. I'm not going to name who it is or anything like that, but this source has a direct connection to one of the positional coaches on the Cowboys on the offensive side of the ball.
Okay.
And Schottenheimer, so he's not the nice guy that everybody perceives him to be, and that's fine. There are coaches out there that are kind of more tough-nosed, things like that. But from what I'm hearing from this positional coach source is that a lot of the offensive coaches do not respect him in terms of how he treats the positional coaches. If you remember back, I went to Rutgers University, and there was a head coach that actually coached there, Greg Schiano. Do y'all remember him? I
remember Greg Schiano, yeah.
He played. I think he coached in Tampa for like a year, and then they fired him right away.
Yeah, they fired him right away. Yeah,
that's who this positional coach is comparing Schottenheimer to.
Damn.
So just not, even though he's perceived as this respectable guy, it's not the case. I don't know if he's different with the players, right? We don't know, but all I know is as the year went on last year, they didn't play hard, right?
Yeah.
Like in that Giants. Yeah. You could say what you want about Jason Garrett and even Mike McCarthy. Those players played hard for those coaches.
They did. They played hard for Mike.
We're watching games with Garrett. I'm like, how are they still playing hard for this guy? Like after 10 years, I didn't see that with Schottenheimer. I didn't see the effort at the end of the year that I did with McCarthy and Garrett. So maybe there is something to that.
I've heard of Schottenheimer a lot like Urban Meyer. Like he's very much a dick to his junior coaches and his assistant coaches.
I could see that.
A lot of people, he's very much like a prick to a lot of people on his staff because he thinks he's arrogant.
I see that. Like this source said he's the complete opposite of Marty Schottenheimer.
Yeah, I've heard that too. I've heard that at other times through other sources.
He's probably one of those guys that was very bitter.
I heard Pete Carroll didn't like him at all. I heard Pete Carroll did not like him at all. I could not wait to get away from him.
Yeah, look, man, there's a reason why teams stopped giving this guy head coaching interviews 10 years ago.
Yeah. And he never got the job.
He got a job. He was lucky to get an OC job in Seattle, and then after that, he kind of phased out. So he's the safe pick because he was already in house with Jerry. They know him. It's a carryover from the McCarthy system.
Back friendly,
man. And that right there, brother, like you just said about it was a safe hire. That goes back to what we were talking about before about Eberflus being hired and the head scratcher. It's because it's a comfortable pick for Jerry. Oh, yeah. Jerry likes to be comfortable,
and that's
Jerry doesn't like coaches that are going to challenge him.
That's why he would not hire Brian Flores. That's
exactly, or a fucking Bill Belichick or Harbaugh.
Somebody that would actually come in here and actually change the culture, like if Vrabel, Mike Johnson, guys like you spoke about, those guys changed the culture, right? Because it's like a shock to the system that Jerry even like to run.
Yeah.
But they just went with the same old shit. And say what you want, whatever Dak, I know we're all out on him, but if you knew this was going to be the last coach that Dak was going to have, and you go with Brian Schottenheimer as the last window, you're not taking winning seriously.
But
I mean,
I think
hold on,
pretty
because
heavy.
good.
He was like champion Brian Schottenheimer. Dak was the main spokesperson for him.
Because he's going to run the system that Dak's comfortable with, JB.
He
I
doesn't
know.
want to learn new offense. He can't. He's a 1.9 GPA.
1.4.
Well, he's still developing.
1.4.
He's still developing, though. I mean, like,
He's got a lot of upside, that guy.
yeah, he's got a real high floor. Yeah.
I mean, shit.
Well, the thing is, and a lot of quarterbacks have said this and this is why a lot of them don't succeed according to some of these, to Peyton Manning and all of them, is like when a quarterback is changing systems every year, it really does hurt them. But in Dak's case, I mean, he's been in the same system from Linehan, I mean, all the way up to now, and the results are the same at the end of the day. And Dak, like we said, he's 10 years in the league, same system. Changing him now, it just confirms that he can't get it done, and they're not prepared to do that. So it's a comfort thing, whatever. And then the question to me becomes, like JB's talking about, the whole thing is about this defense. Like, how serious are you on that? And on top of that, are you going to be true to your board? Because at the end of the day, whoever the best player is, whether it's offensive, defense, whoever the best player is on the board at that time, that's who you have to draft.
I'm gonna kind of get back to the sport real quick, and because to me, you said something kind of the effort they like gave up playing for shot.
Didn't you sense that in like the Detroit game and the Minnesota game? And
I sensed it in the Carolina game.
yeah,
If you look at how lethargic the offense was.
In the Carolina game, to me,
and even the last Giants game, I know it was meaningless, but in years past, like Jason Garrett would have that team ready to play for a meaningless game in week 18 or week 17.
Yeah.
They didn't show up. Dak was talking all week about how, we got to get another winning record. We don't want to be we don't want to be below 500, right? What did they do? He went out there for a quarter, then got benched, and they got blown out by the Giants. So like, I'm just not buying what Schottenheimer's selling.
I in that game though, and like I said, I can't say I saw the whole game, but from what I saw from clips, I saw the same thing that happened to them against the Packers in the playoffs, where they had I don't know if it was an interception or whatever, a turnover happened, and the team was like, "Here we go again," and they're just done. They don't have that.
That was more about that, though. You talking about the coaching, like he's talking about Schottenheimer.
No, I understand that. I'm just saying, but the players have this mindset. There's certain types of momentum shifts that happen in the game where I see this team just collapses, whether it was under Mike McCarthy, and of course that carries over into Brian Schottenheimer, where when certain things happen, the players like, here we go again, and then they're just done. They cashed in for the day.
Yeah.
What's the common denominator between all three of those quarterbacks, bro? Coaches is coaches.
Dak Prescott.
Dak Prescott, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm looking at this more of the coaching part of it, as far as not the players giving up on Dak. I'm talking about giving up on the coaching. And Schottenheimer's supposed to be this culture changer, and he's all this, but that's not really what's going on. What I'm hearing from the likes of what the sport was saying, what you were kind of saying Tuesday about the character of the coach that we have, and how hell even his assistants give up on him. So if the assistants giving up on him and the players giving up on him, what the fuck?
Well, and you saw that with Diggs also, because the whole thing that transpired with Diggs, right, when he got cut, it's like people are saying, "Oh yeah, that's Shoddy trying to change the culture," and I'm like, I don't know about that, because you're talking about a guy that had no problem calling Dak out, and it looked like he was doing the same thing with Shoddy. So,
yeah, no, I agree with you, JB. I think it's evident to me that I think the word I always think of when I think of Schottenheimer is soft. Mm-hmm. Like, it goes along with that theme with this team for the past however damn many years.
30 years.
31 years, like the Camp Cupcake stuff. And, here's my thing, man. And this to me is a big deal. And some people, I don't know if they think it's a big deal, but I think we ought to stop going to damn Oxnard for training camp. they need to move that shit right back to the Star. Or you know what, better yet, man, let's send these dudes out to Wichita Falls. and let them get some of that Texas heat in the summertime, man. Toughen them up.
Yeah, you should do it in San Antonio.
Yeah, San Antonio too, man. Where Jimmy used to take them there too, and yeah, get them out in that heat. Stop coddling these dudes. Stop. I mean, we don't need. Yeah, they're highly paid athletes and all that crap. They can go out and sweat. They can go out and suffer out in Texas heat because this is going to make them tougher in the long run.
I just don't think. I don't think the players today are that.
Well, but bro, I don't necessarily. I think you're right. I think a lot of these young kids come out of school now. They're softer than the dudes that were coming out 15 years ago, 20 years ago. Sure,
because they can build. Because now with the technology, you can build your own brand. You're seeing that with the college kids now, where wait, you're not letting me start. Let me transfer to this other school.
Yeah, 100%. The coach yells at me, I can go on the transfer portal.
Yep.
I don't have to put up with that. These players are totally empowered, and that's part of the problem too. But I'm more speaking to what JB was talking about with the coach. Schottenheimer's soft, man. He's soft spoken. The way he approaches the media, and he's always like, "Oh shucks," and all this, leave it to Beaver stuff. That
His coach is soft. He definitely coaches soft.
Yeah, he do. He coach soft too.
That's what I'm saying.
He is not aggressive at all.
Not at all.
Terrible road game plans offensively.
He's risk averse. He's really risk averse. He won't.
And I find that kind of weird. And the reason I say that is because you go back to when he was the OC with the Jets, he wasn't like that in terms of his play calling. Probably the head coach had him on a noose or had him on a leash. Well, yeah, probably. But,
yeah.
I mean, because they were really aggressive when he was there, and they were going for it and all that stuff. He goes to the Seahawks. You know how Pete Carroll is. I just want to do Marty ball, so to speak. And then here he is at Dallas, and it's like, okay, Dak, what do you want? I mean, that's what it seems like. It's basically saying, Dak, whatever you want, you're in charge. You've been in the league, 10 years. You should know what we need to do. And
I think
Barry Switzer 2.0.
That's a part of the problem, because this is where I blame Jerry and Steven for the majority of it, is because your weapons offensively are mainly in the right? The Dallas offense is mainly Dak, Pickens, Lamb, Ferguson, whatever. But then you hire a coach like Schottenheimer, who's more of a running the football type coach. So now you have like a conundrum there where you have personnel at a certain strength, but then your coach likes to do something else. Why don't you get a coach in here that actually can get a solid running game going, but you actually get personnel to emphasize that. Like, you can't just get by with Javonte Williams in the playoffs.
We have a guy that knows how to run the ball, but I just think that he's trying to reinvent himself as a guy that says, no, I don't need to run the ball, I can throw it.
That's what I'm saying. But when you get in the playoffs, though, and you get a quarterback like Dak who turns the ball over a lot, like, you can't just turn the switch on in the playoffs. Like, even McCarthy had that problem against Green Bay. Like, Dallas had trouble running the ball all season in 2023, right? I think Pollard barely broke 1,000 yards or something like that. They get into the playoffs, and now you have to pass the ball the entire game because Green Bay is scoring every drive, and they can't run the football to slow the game down. So it's like, when you have a turnover-prone quarterback in Dak in the playoffs, you need to lean on that running game, especially on the road. And with Schottenheimer having his weapons mainly in the passing game, he's not going to go to that. Like, he wants to feed Dak because Dak's getting paid the most. Lamb's getting paid $30 million. Pickens is getting $27 million. So, there's just it counteracts each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
at some point, the sport, we got to realize putting all the money on the offense ain't working.
No.
They want to sell tickets and all that shit, but I get it, but bro,
that's why that's what's
running game. But with Dak could get the praise just by handing the ball off. He'll still get the praise because they're gonna give him credit regardless if we win. But that's a win.
Case in point, JB, look at Troy Aikman's career.
But this goes back to sorry, James, but like,
no, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
No, it's very similar to we've all said this before about the Ravens style where Trent Phillips didn't throw the ball. Look, if you could get Dak to throwing maybe 15 to 20 passes a game, and your running game can stay on the field and chew up the clock, which is what Jason Garrett did. You think about when Romo had his greatest amount of success, and when he started kind of moving away from Tony Ono to Tony Romo, it was the fact that you started controlling when you had to pass. And Dak's success his rookie year was because of that. Because remember, that team was really built for Romo at that point. And looking at this team now, it's the same situation because it's too top heavy. You're not. It's really hard to build this defense up based on what you have in the so-called window they think they got. So it'll take less to make a more superior offense, if that makes sense, with that quarterback, than it would be to try to rebuild that defense. I think that's how they're thinking. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just thinking. I believe that's how they're looking at the situation.
You know what would help? What would help this offense immensely is if they go ahead and draft another power back like a Katron Allen.
Exactly.
You bring them in here and let's start handing the ball off. Like I know, and you know what sells tickets more than aerial
wins.
Like winning sells tickets.
Yo, Uncensored, what's up, bro?
What's good, my brothers?
Oh, there he is.
Hey, I ain't gonna go off today.
Nah, I
Come
need
on, we
you.
need another one.
I need you unleashed. I need you unleashed, bro.
I've had a good day, man. It's been relaxing. I'm not about to let these dumbass fans hype up fucking Mozzie Smith. It reincarnated.
Hey, no, we got Jonathan Bullard, man. You're not excited?
You mean Mozzie Smith?
Yeah, man. Jonathan Smith.
He looked like Mozzie Smith to me.
Man, I mean,
But nah, I was listening to y'all talk the whole time, but I could just get on. But I'm gonna tell y'all this right now. They did not pay Dak Prescott $60 million to hand the ball off.
I know.
I don't care. You can get Barry Sanders and Emmitt Smith both in the backfield at the same time, and they will pass to Emmitt Smith out of the backfield before they let him run it. It's just the way they look at this team, man.
100%. But I'm just saying what they should do.
Yeah, and look at the Seahawks paid Sam Darnold $40 million last year, and they didn't.
Sam Darnold made 35 last year, I believe. 35, 36, somewhere around there.
35, yeah, obviously.
He only got like a 3-year contract though, and it was like average of 33 or some shit like that.
Yeah, and we all know Dak's being overpaid. I mean, because Jerry waited to sign him. He probably should have been more towards 50. I think he probably deserves 25, but just realistically where the market was, he wasn't anywhere close to 50.
That's a misnomer because Jerry tried to sign Dak Prescott cheaper. Dak Prescott, after they had agreed to a deal, went back and changed up and wanted more. That's why Jerry always say he took advantage of him.
And that's why I don't respect. I lost all respect for Jerry because my whole look. I'm going to go back to that damn end of his rookie year, and that's when Jerry screwed up the most. I don't care about everything after that. The guy was injured. He has no leverage on you, Jerry. And in that draft, you telling me there was all these other quarterbacks that were available, right? And you're telling me Dak had leverage where you had to sign him to that deal? You cannot convince me of that. You just cannot do that.
I'm gonna have to go look at the 2021 draft because he got injured in 2020. I'm if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to look at the 2021 draft and see exactly.
That was Trevor Lawrence, Mac Jones.
That was the Trevor Lawrence, Mac Jones, Justin Fields.
And where did we draft in that? What was our draft position? No, I'm saying where did we draft?
That was Micah, right? So I think that was
was Micah. We got Micah in that draft, so that was what Micah was.
11, 12, something like that.
Yeah, I think 11, 12 pick.
And the bottom line, as I see it, is you had. Not saying he's been so much better than Dak, but Matt Jones was there. You could have got him. Justin Fields was there. You could have got him.
Well, Matt Jones showed in San Francisco. You put the right talent around him, he can win you some football games. Now I don't know what he could do in playoffs. But Matt Jones has shown you, well, at least in San Francisco, that he's a confident quarterback.
Right. And I'm saying to you that you can't tell me that between those quarterbacks on a rookie deal wouldn't have been better than signing Dak to long term. I don't care if it's Mac or Fields at this point. But
you know what? I'm going to say this, and this might go kind of – if you can get Dak Prescott not to turn the fucking ball over, you can probably win with him.
Yeah.
But for some reason, his brain fucking short circuits. and he
but it's the
throws
timing.
dumbass picks.
But it's the time. It's also the timing of his picks, uncensored. It's always
That's what I
Sorry.
mean. It's the dumbass fucking picks. Like, why would you throw that? I ask myself all the time when I'm watching them play. Like, why the fuck would you throw that pass?
I got into it with a fan. And they were talking about Aikman when he has some interceptions. But you know what though? Aikman's interceptions were never in situations where you just can't afford to have a screw up like that. And I think that's what fans don't understand.
Because the coaches understood situational football under Aikman, and they didn't put Aikman in situations where he could make those mistakes either. They understood that. Listen, that second Super Bowl win, Aikman was playing horrible in that first quarter. I think he threw 2 picks in the first half, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he did.
And what did they do when they came out of halftime? They took the ball out of Aikman's hand,
Took it out of his hands.
put it in Emmett, and ran it like 9 straight fucking times.
Yeah.
Because the coaches understood situational football. These coaches that we have had in Dallas for the last 20 plus years don't understand. In the first quarter, you got to be able to see this is not Dak's day. We got to go to a run-first offense, and we need a defense. Again, got to get rid of this bend don't break. You got to get turnovers. We have to put pressure on the other team not to make a mistake because Dak Prescott is not it today. For some reason, they will sit up there and they will ride Dak Prescott throwing picks and having a bad game. If people doubt me, go back and watch the interceptions that he threw in that Arizona Cardinals game.
Yep.
That's the game.
There was not a fucking wide receiver around. It was 5 Cardinals around him when he rolled to the right down the sideline and threw
he
the
gunned
ball
it to him too.
40
He
yards
gunned
down
it
the
to
fucking
him.
field into 5 red jerseys.
Not one white jersey there. He gunned it to him too. It's like he drew it up in his head that the play was there. There was nothing there. I'm looking. I'm like, what are you doing?
And I'm like, why the fuck would you throw that?
But I will say this uncensored. Part of that's on damn OC.
Yes, you have to to know your personnel.
Yes.
You have to rein them in when they're playing bad.
Yeah.
Mike McCarthy went in that Green Bay game. Should have took the ball out of Dak Prescott's hand. I understand that you were down, but you got to settle this team down. You got to get some sustained drives. You got to let your defense get some rest.
But we got some run. But we got some.
They kept letting Dak Prescott throw, and he threw 2 fucking picks, basically pick sixes, because they would not let him settle down.
But if you remember early in that game, brother, if you remember, we were getting runs off on them. And then they went away from the run all of a sudden. Like, it was weird. It was weird.
That is vintage McCarthy in the playoffs.
Yes.
But see, McCarthy, when he had Aaron Rodgers, you can get away with that. You can get away when you got a quarterback that has Hall of Fame talent and can manipulate the defense like Aaron Rodgers could. Aaron Rodgers would get up to the line, communicate to his wide receivers, and put them in the right place.
And he knew what he was looking at in front of him.
Dak Prescott cannot do that. The only coverage Dak Prescott can read is cover 0. We went an entire game where they ran the Vikings ran cover 0, and they put and Dak Prescott out his mouth said that they could not figure out how to beat it. Those are his words.
Yeah. I cannot understand that. I mean,
a 10, 11-year vet saying he couldn't figure out. You've seen cover 0 before. You've seen it.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. A lot of Dak's picks also in the playoffs specifically have either happened in the red zone or on their side of the field.
Always in the damn red zone. Or
never in the middle of the field. Right, even in the first playoff game against Green Bay in 2016, remember that red zone pick? It was like a bubble screen or something. It's always at the worst times, at the worst points in the field. And I'll throw a stat at you guys, and I'll let you guys talk about it. Since 2016, we're talking about playoffs only. The Dallas defense has only generated 5 takeaways in 7 games, but the Dallas offense has generated 10 turnovers, so double the amount of turnovers for the amount of takeaways that the defense has generated. You're not going to win any games, especially against the top teams in the playoffs playing like that.
And that was a hell of a stat right there. Say that stat again.
You want to? Go ahead.
Yeah, say that again, please.
What was that stat?
Yeah, so since 2016, all of Dak's playoff games, right? The Dallas defense has generated 5 takeaways against opponents, but the Dallas offense has generated 10 turnovers. So double the amount of turnovers by the offense compared to the
it's
defense.
an inverse ratio. Yeah.
Oh, but they
And-
want
and
to
you
blame
see-
the defense. What does the
But you
defense
see,
have to do with Dak Prescott throwing interceptions?
And that is the most important. Those are the stats, if you want to go by stats, that tell
Yeah,
you.
turnover ratio is extremely important, especially in playoff games.
Yeah,
And here we go. Why didn't Romo win? Same thing.
Yo, you can put Tony Romo's career and Dak Prescott career together.
Same thing.
And the amount of wins that they got in the playoffs would barely get you to a fucking Super Bowl.
Yeah.
If they took all the wins that they had over the 20 years of Tony Romo and Dak Prescott, you would get one fucking Super Bowl, man. Tony Romo was a fucking loser too, man.
It's the same. It's the same thing, though. No, but I guarantee you, if you go look at the stats again, just like you just said, Sport, that Tony Romo's the same thing, because I don't remember all of Romo's thing, but once again, Romo would throw on time, worst situation interceptions.
Tony, oh no.
Yeah, exactly. And then you have drives that you need to sustain. He couldn't sustain it, and then you're giving the other team less field to work with. That's what I remember of Romo. The things that irked me Romo was how we would kick, 3 and out, worse, giving the other team the best yardage situation to score. That's what Romo did. Dak, oh my gosh,
Dak throws touchdowns for the defense. He's even worse.
It's worse, but it's the same result.
Tony Romo used to do that shit too, man. Especially on those out routes, man. He throw pick sixes all the fucking time, man.
God.
And late in the game too, man.
Yep.
That's how we lost.
Because Romo would be forced.
Remember that shootout with Denver we had?
Man, I remember a Thanksgiving game against the Washington Redskins, man. One of the worst fucking games I ever saw Tony Romo play, man. It was fucking horrible, man. That was like 2000 and let's see.
I was at that.
Was that when he missed?
I was at that Thanksgiving game or that shootout with Peyton Manning. I was in the house for that game.
And it just
I
don't know why people bring up Tony Romo as an excuse for Dak Prescott, because Tony Romo was a fucking loser. He didn't win shit.
He was every bit as bad as that.
Because people want to think that people hate Dak and they don't hate Romo, and then there's these Romo lovers.
I hate losers.
It has nothing
man.
to do with that.
Yeah,
it has
I
nothing
can't
to do with
losers.
that.
I can't stand fucking losers, man.
Yeah,
I watched Tony Romo.
Extremely full.
I watched Tony Romo after he lost a playoff game stand at that podium and say, if losing a playoff game is the worst thing that ever happened to me, I had a very good life. which in the big scheme of things is true. But
yeah, sure.
In the heat of the battle, you want to hear that shit.
And Tony Romo, T.O. got up there right after him with tears in his eyes and his lips quivering, talking about that's my quarterback, because he was so upset they lost.
Yeah.
It's a different.
Well, he was upset because they were criticizing Romo.
Yo, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
T.O. cared about winning, man.
Yeah, he did. I agree. He did.
Absolutely.
Him and Dez were the last players I think they really cared about winning.
So did Amari Cooper, and that's why he left.
I think DeMarcus Lawrence cared about winning. I just think that he fell victim to the Cowboy machine. He cared, but what happened was when you got Micah Parsons and these boys in here, and Trey and Diggs, it became more about the theater of winning than actually winning. Yeah. And that's when DeMarcus Lawrence checked out.
That's probably fair. Do you remember that tired comment he made after the Green Bay game?
Yeah, he was tired of Dak Prescott.
He was tired of Dak Prescott.
I know that's what he meant.
Tired of the offense going 3 and out. That's what he couldn't say.
That's why they were tired, because they had to play the whole year.
Yeah, he's tired of the BS. I think he says, "I'm tired." We were tired. Are we tired of losing? We're tired of everything. But
I have a shot at Dak.
But I have a question for Uncensored, right? Like I said, look at this draft, man. Does getting ends that can actually help you stop the run, is that even worth looking at this point? Or
yes.
I believe that in a 4-3, you need your linebacker, your middle linebackers are going to be essential in helping you stop the run. you have to double dip for linebackers in that first round.
Okay.
You have to figure out how to make your front seven stronger, and then it will help your back end.
Right.
You know,
So
we were talking on Fifth's channel the other day about how to fix this team, and if you can get this front seven, people got to stop trying to build around pass rushers. T.J. Watt, Nick Bosa, Joey Bosa, Myles Garrett, what's his name in fucking Las Vegas? None of these motherfuckers got Super Bowls. You don't build around defensive ends. They come in after you've already got a solid defense. You then bring in defensive ends to put pressure on the quarterback.
But even twofold to what you're saying, dude. And I agree with everything you're saying. These guys way overhype sacks as a stat.
Sacks is bull because it don't matter if you get a sack on first down.
Yep.
And then your cornerback gets a defensive holding penalty. That sack is negated.
Thank you.
It's about moments.
Yep.
Charles Haley played good in big moments.
He never led the league in sacks, but he got sacks in big at the right moment.
Get your team off the field on third down. This is when I need to sack. I don't give a fuck about a fucking sack on first down that you're gonna give up a first down with a defensive penalty on the very next play.
Yep.
I need you, just like I say with Dak Prescott. I don't give a fuck that you threw for 400 yards against the Giants. I needed you to throw for 4 touchdowns against the Broncos. I needed you to throw for 4 touchdowns against the Cardinals.
I need 90% of this fan base to understand this.
Because Dak Prescott, half his touchdowns last year went against 4 opponents in 5 games because you played the Commanders twice. 4 opponents. You got 17 games. In 5 games, he scored half his touchdown. You went 3 games where he scored 0 touchdowns, and another 4 games where he didn't score in the second half, or he went a whole half without a touchdown.
And
what does that have to do with the defense?
It helps the defense when you're ahead because they can pin your ears back and get after the quarterback.
And that's why I hammered the point that if you look at his so-called winning percentages when it comes to teams that are winners versus losers, and now that the NFC East is no longer a joke because the Giants, the Commanders, Eagles have all been building themselves up, you're now last place in this division.
It's gonna be trouble.
And
when you're
wins anymore.
Your defense is playing down all the time too. It doesn't help them.
Nope.
Especially when you can't.
That's why we need to double dip at linebacker.
Exactly, Jay. Man, I'm 100% with you.
Right. So I'm just saying that's why I was asking this question because I figured that's what people need to understand is linebackers versus defensive ends, and in order to do what you need to do, like you guys just said, linebackers are going to be the key. Going forward.
You need fast, aggressive, smart linebackers.
Keyword is smart. We haven't had that since Sean.
I said last year they were physically slow and mentally slow.
Well, I would put speed third in that list, bro.
Speed don't matter as much as people think. You don't play football in 40-yard sprints. Football is played 5, 6, 7 yards at a time.
My coaches in college always told us, man, that speed between the ears is the most important thing for a linebacker.
Yeah, you play fast, but it don't matter. Yeah. There's no difference between.
But when you process fast, you play fast.
4-3 and a 4-4. 4-3-4-4 is pretty much the same when you play football.
What was Ken Norton's time? Like, not that it mattered.
Hold on, y'all. Go ahead, Unsus.
No, I was saying 4-3-4-4. It doesn't. That is pretty much the same fucking speed because you're not running straight lines. This isn't a sprint. You're navigating traffic. You're running through the gaps and stuff like that. That shit don't matter. You need smart, intelligent players that can process fast, read and react, and then hit the holes.
Because processing fast means what? You play fast.
Yep. And I watched Kenneth Murray Jr. sit up there like he was fucking on the short bus half the season.
Because he couldn't process what he was seeing. And that's been his problem his whole career.
Same thing with Jack Sanborn. Same thing with Lil Fowl.
Yep.
I think Overshown's lost a step because of the injuries. It's just.
We'll see. But, yeah, I think you're right to a degree. We'll see what he looks like this year. But,
Overshown?
Yeah, Overshown.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the kid, man. Of course, I love, I'm a UT fan. Love Overshown. Love the Texas connection. But that injury was devastating, and I think they brought him back way too soon. I think they should have let him sit out the rest of the year last year.
You can't do it, and this is the reason why you couldn't let him sit.
Yeah, I know.
Overshown has not played a full season. He needed to get back on the field so you can see what he's doing, and then hopefully you get this full season.
Well,
Otherwise you have to pay him. You have to pay him based off of one full season. So
yeah.
you needed to see those 6-7 games.
Even if
when he
they
came
draft
back.
2 guys, even if they do double dip though, they still needs to play. He
Oh
needs to
yeah,
be out.
because you're running a 4-3. So, I mean a 3-4. So he's going to be out there with him.
Yeah, you gonna
I
be
don't
out.
know about this moving Leofow shit. I don't know what that's going to look like.
Leofow needs to be cut or traded, man. He's not. He's not.
I love the kid's aggression. I love the aggression, but he overruns plays way too much.
He's not a
He's not
3-4
smart enough.
linebacker.
No, he's not. He's too small. He's too small. Even if you put him in at the will, he's too small. And he overruns. He doesn't think. He just takes off.
Well, it's the same problem you have with Clark, where they're not smart enough. That's what.
Yeah, and I see it in that Shamar James kid too. And that should, I don't know where they're looking at these linebackers and what they're seeing. That Shamar James pick was a head scratcher for me.
Now, as of
I didn't get it.
right now, you can't count on any of these linebackers on this team.
That-
That's why you
that's-
have to double dip.
Exactly. I see the need, and that's the problem. Is it's a need, and like you said before, we don't draft well. We have to reach.
Well, see, and this is the problem too that you run into is the Cowboys always go into the draft with glaring needs. Other
Yep.
teams know that you need linebackers,
Uh-huh.
so you're now at risk of other teams jumping up in the draft to try to take the player, just like they did when we wanted Horn or Pat Surtain.
Well, namely the two teams in your division. Namely the two teams in your division that are drafting ahead of you.
Okay, hold on. Let him finish what he was saying first, bro.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm good. I was just saying that when you go in there with glaring needs, other teams that want that linebacker know that you're going to take them off the board. They might jump in front of you, just like they did Horn and Pat Surtain Jr. And that's why we ended up with Micah. They went in there trying to get a cornerback, but you ended up with Micah because the other teams jumped in front.
Yep.
That was it.
All right, go ahead, Doomsday.
Oh no, yeah, I was agreeing with him, but all I simply said was, namely the two teams in your division that are drafted in front of you. Like, and you can't sit there and tell me that, Giants don't need defensive help. Like, and Washington for that matter.
So Giants and Redskins picking ahead of us.
Yeah, exactly. And then they're your division rivals, man. They're division opponents. I mean, they know what we need.
Yeah, if I'm the Giants, I'm trying to fix my offensive line.
I agree, but who knows what Harbaugh's looking at? He's been talking up Caleb down. I mean, that could be just coach speak and try to throw people off. You know how it goes in the draft.
Well, I think
His team be lying.
Harbaugh will cover his bases because he's a real fucking coach.
Yeah, 100%. I think but you can't look at that defense and be like, yeah, we're set.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, I think you're right.
I don't think he ever will. He's always looking to get better.
Yeah, that's kind of coach he is. Now, I'm not sitting there saying I'm not saying he's be all into all coaches. I mean, he had his struggles in Baltimore, but I don't know that was all his fault. But
when you got a quarterback that has only played one full season, John Harbaugh started 3 quarterbacks this season and was a missed field goal away from making the playoffs, and they blamed him.
Well,
They're
lost.
That and whatever the so-called relation of Lamar Jackson is apparently sour. So.
Yeah, fuck Lamar Jackson. He's a fucking loser, man.
I agree. I'm just saying that's what happened.
You ain't gonna hear no arguments from me.
Yo, you know another team that picked their quarterback over their head coach? The New York Giants.
Yep.
And when they let Tom Coughlin go because they wanted to keep fucking Eli Manning, and Eli Manning had, what are they on, their 5th or 6th fucking coach since then?
Yep.
See, the Ravens have been so used to sugar for so long they don't know what shit tastes like.
We're about to find
that's
out.
the problem. And it's the same thing I said with the Pittsburgh Steelers. They have gotten so used to being right there in the playoff hunt. They don't know how it feels to be a Cowboy fan when you go into a season already predicting to only win 5 to 7 games. They've had coaches that's like, hey man, we're gonna be in the playoff hunt every single year. And if things go right for us, maybe we can make a run. That's not the Dallas Cowboys. It's like if you ate a ribeye every single day, you'd be tired of eating ribeyes at some point in time. But there's a guy across the street that would give everything he had for one bite of your ribeye. That's what happened to the Baltimore Ravens. Because there was teams that called John Harbaugh and was like, we will fire our head coach right now if you want to come play coach for us. He got more phone calls than job openings, which means that some teams called him and said, if you want to come coach here, we will fire the motherfucker we got right now. But the Baltimore Ravens decided he wasn't good enough.
That's what happens, man. No, it happens everywhere, man. In businesses, all that stuff. People just, they just think there's always something green on their side. But, and I think that's the analogy a lot of these Dak fanboys are trying to say. But it's not the same, man, because like you said, Mike Tomlin, John Harbaugh, they were winning with basically, a rubber band and a paper clip. And I mean, especially Mike Tomlin with the Steelers this past year. I still can't get over that. I'm looking at it like, how did he pull that off? But team getting old, everything, and I mean, it's just unbelievable. And the fans, like you said, they can't appreciate that because, like you said, they don't know. It's been too long. They don't know what it's like to be us. I mean, the Cowboys are the new Browns, man. We are the new Saints, the Aints, I should say, because it's just ridiculous. Because I keep looking at us, I'm like, where's the end?
Yeah, it's bad, man. I mean, we literally are going into a season again where, I mean, people got hope that this is a playoff caliber, a team that can make a playoff run.
Nah,
they're out there for sure. I would say they're out there.
And that's the thing that kills me. Everyone keeps talking about we have this window, and I'm like, the window's closed. It's closed, man.
That window's gone.
Yeah.
That window was cemented up a long time ago.
No window, no.
Using a concrete box, huh, JB?
There's no foundation.
They got rid of the pot to piss in too on the way.
Yeah, pee in the corner like a savage. Yeah.
Shit.
Pee in the corner like a savage.
You're gonna deal with delusional fans. I mean, there was people after we signed that the last defensive lineman or whatever it was. They were talking about, oh, I'm glad at least he's I got a Tiger, an LSU Tiger I can root for. It's the dumbest shit, man. Yeah, they were happy. They were happy that an LSU Tiger was on the team so they can root for him.
Oh yeah, they follow their college players.
Oh my god! All right, whatever.
Once they leave my school, I don't care.
I don't give a damn what school you are.
So, this happened on Fifth Channel a while ago, man, and then it happened again. I think JB played it as part of the clip. G. Hampton, he has a show called Cowboy Huddle Podcast. He was on Fifth Channel and he said, "Man, you know what? It ain't even really about Super Bowls no more." And we was like, "What?" And so. Then he got to the point by the end of the season. He told Fifth, "Man, Fifth, I just want to know what we need to do to win some football games." And then West Coast Cowboy got on there, and he was naming all of this shit about Dak, and he said, "Well, who do you consider a winner?" And Fifth starts naming off Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, and he said, "Oh, I see what the standard is." When did the standard for Cowboy fans drop from being the Super Bowls?
I think it dropped, to be honest with you. I think in 2015, that's when it fell. I think that's when the standard, which was Super Bowls, died. I think the Cowboy mystique died in 2015 in terms of fans understanding that. Because the fact that people are satisfied with 12-5 and whatever we had with Jason Garrett, 8-8 and 8-8, and it's just it's not Super Bowls.
It's the standard has dropped so low. What I see what he's saying. On the standard of what's being a championship team and the standard of the Dallas Cowboys is winning Super Bowls, it shouldn't be nothing less. But now we've gotten to the point where, goddamn, if we can win, you know what I'm saying, 10, 11 games, we
They
done
happy.
did something.
They happy. They think that that's success. That's not success.
They
It's
care
not
about
success.
stats and numbers.
I care
They
about
care,
one thing:
Super
Super
I want
Bowls.
Bowls.
Lombardis. I don't
Right.
care about number Lombardis, and that's the whole point of
And that's the
watching the
thing that
sport.
kills me. They keep saying that Dak's a winner. He had a winning season. There's only one team every year that has a winning season. Everyone else is losers. Why is that so hard?
31 other losers. 31 losers.
I don't know why that's so hard for people to understand that.
They've even worked on Michael Irvin. Man. I remember Michael Irvin when Tony Romo would fail in the playoffs. He would get on TV and say, "You're a loser. You failed. The goal was at the beginning of the season a Super Bowl." And they've even worked him into being okay with all of this sideshow shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because when Shotty first got hired, he was upset. He said they hired the substitute teacher. He said that shit himself on his own podcast.
Damn.
He said that shit. And then Jerry Jones probably called him up on the phone and said, "Well, you know, Michael, I need you to get on board and get the Cowboy Nation behind him. So if you can get on your channel, you know, and give him a little support." And then Michael Irvin got up there and talked and sold everybody that he was changing the culture.
You could tell former players who do business with Jerry in some capacity because they always carry Jerry's water. That's why you don't see Troy Aikman carrying Jerry's water ever, because he don't do business with Jerry.
Troy Aikman, the last time he had a serious conversation about the Cowboy, called him a national embarrassment.
Yeah, Troy Aikman, and for God bless Troy Aikman, man. That's why I love him, because he tells the truth.
No, I'm just happy for Troy. I'm really happy for Troy now with what he's doing with Miami. I mean, I wish that was him with the Cowboys, but
Well, I think he ought to
just
be our
glad
GM.
he got something.
I think Troy Aikman ought to
He
be our
wanted to
GM.
do it.
He
wanted
wants
to do it with Dallas, but Jerry.
Good.
100%. No, he said it. He's basically all but said that he wanted to be GM here.
It's not even so much as GM. Even if it's coming as a consultant.
But why not GM? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you work. I'm saying, bottom line, 30 years, he hasn't played in 30 years. And the point is, in the time he left, right, whether it's learning through becoming a scout and all that other stuff, and, you know, work your way up to become the GM, being that 30 years has passed, he should have already been the GM for the Dallas Cowboys, because Troy Aikman, he should have known from the work ethic that Troy did as a player that this is the guy that was going to do the same thing for that position, and he loved winning. Troy Aikman's about winning. The standard is the standard for him, and Jerry, once again, didn't understand that, doesn't care about that, because it's not about winning. If it was, you would have been grooming Troy for that. Just like how here's the weird part. I heard him say this, that Jason Garrett, the reason he was even drafted or picked up or whatever was because he was looking for his Tom Landry. So he basically drafted a player to be his so-called long-term coach. And you're grooming this guy to be your coach, blah, blah, blah. It didn't work out. And I'm thinking, okay, you thought about your coach, but what about your general manager? What about your coaching staff? What was your plans for that? And there's nothing. I mean, it's just on and on.
Jerry don't know what the fuck he's doing. He's been doing the same shit for 30-something fucking years. And he has nobody in that organization that's willing to call him a dumbass.
Well, it's easy to be GM when you're not risking anything.
No, and
there's no pressure.
And this is the sad part, because I listen to people tell me with the Raiders, when Al Davis died or passed on, the Raiders are going to be so much better. But his fucking son took over. He's just as dumb as he is. We're in the same fucking boat. Because I believe Stephen Jones makes the majority of the day-to-day Cowboy decisions. Jerry might come in on the big ticket things like the Quentin Williams trades and stuff like that. But I think Stephen Jones is a big part of the reason why this Cowboy organization is struggling.
No, I agree. I think it's both of them, but yeah, I think Stephen.
Yeah, it's both of them, case in point, if you allow me for a second, Yeah.
Case in point for Stephen Jones, the case against him as being the GM or being able to run a football team. That Jaden Blue pick last year was all Stephen Jones. Schottenheimer did not want him. You could see it on his face when they drafted him, and that was he does not fit what Schottenheimer wants, and that was all Stephen. Stephen always talking about these all-purpose backs, the speedy, shifty backs. He loves those speedy, shifty backs. So we're always drafting, bringing in Turpin, trying to make him into a Swiss Army knife. All them, the Percy Harvins and all these guys they brought in over the years. Remember Ryan Switzer? Trying to duplicate what New England did with Welker.
Yes, I remember that.
I'm like, what was that? They were fascinated with these small, like Cole Beasley and the small shifty slot guys, for a while, and that didn't work. It's all Steven. That's all been Steven.
Well, Steven wants to copy trends of other teams instead of creating.
Yes, that's all he knows how to do. He doesn't, like I say a million times, there's no football minds in that front office. None. I mean, not even Will McClay. I mean, you might love him or hate him. He's made some good picks for this team, but the last 3 or 4 years, he's been garbage.
But it's like what Uncensored said, man. I really went back and went to study what Will McClay has done over the last 5 years. And even before that, I mean, when he got famous, it's based on picks that were just – it's a no-brainer. I mean, going back to Jimmy was finding – diamonds in the 6th, 5th, and 7th rounds.
He found Larry Allen. And so no mistake of all places.
I mean, and exactly. I'm just saying this is how you're. I mean, Eric Williams. He wasn't a first-round pick, right?
No.
It just goes on, and that to me is the genius. Picking a guy in the first round, who's supposed to be first-round talent. That's nothing special. You're supposed to try to hit your first 3-round picks. You're supposed to try to hit those. You should hit those majority of the time. It's those later rounds when you find someone.
That's when you build your team. That's when you build your team.
Yeah.
When you get to round 4, and you find a Tom Brady or Jordan Lewis or somebody like that later on in the draft, that's when you build your team. You're supposed to not miss on the first 2 rounds.
I mean, at a minimum, the first 2 rounds should be a hit.
And they should be instant starters. They're supposed to be starters. You're not supposed to draft.
If you want to get technically, you should be hitting like 80% of the time in your 3rd round picks. If you do your due diligence in your scouting department.
I mean, if you look at the Steelers and the Ravens, okay, you see how the Steelers used to get these receivers in 4th, 5th rounds. I mean, Santonio Holmes. Plexico Burress, Antonio Brown. The list goes on and on and on. I mean, I think Hines Ward. I don't even think he was a first or 3rd rounder.
I don't believe so either.
Not at all. No, he wasn't.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he was a quarterback, right? Yeah, he was a quarterback.
Yeah, he was a quarterback. He converted to wide receiver.
And you converted him, and they did a lot of those conversions. So I'm just saying
you can do that when you have coaching. See,
you have coaches that know what they're looking at.
It's not just called draft. It's called draft and develop. Yep. You're supposed to get players and develop them and turn them into pros. These guys are not pros coming out of college.
No, not at all.
You're supposed to have a coaching staff that teaches them how to be pros.
Yeah, Hines Ward was a 3rd round pick. Yeah,
and you should have veterans on your damn roster that can help them too.
But there's no leaders on this team. Who's the leader on defense?
Exactly. That's my point.
Who's the leader on offense?
That's another good point. It's another good point.
They've given it to Dak Prescott. He's not a real leader.
No, it should be. I'll tell you the truth. It should be Pickens.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
You don't want Pickens. Pickens was the one that got caught. Was out in Las Vegas partying.
But who else is going to do it? There's guys out with nobody else.
So you want the guy that got in trouble for being out in Las Vegas partying all night?
But what is he doing on the field?
I think Tyler Booker.
It's bigger than what's on the field.
I
You
understand
have
that,
you
though,
have
but
to
if
hold
that's
these you have to hold these guys accountable because guess what? If you fuck up off the field and get suspended, it doesn't you can't perform on the
it's
field.
too easy to take that C off his chest.
I think
But
I think
you
the
put him in a leadership position and make him force him to become a leader, maybe he'll
Yeah,
grow
you
up.
can't
nah he
you
won't.
can't make people become leaders, man.
No,
You
you
have to.
won't.
You can put him in situations where you can develop him to become a good leader. But you got
No,
to have the.
people are natural leaders or not, man. You
Nah,
can't.
I've seen guys be developed into great leaders, but it just takes time. But I get what you're saying. I understand.
I think that in the offense who could be a leader, but they won't give it to him, it's probably Tyler Booker because he at least showed
Or
passion.
Tyler Smith.
Because the reason I say Booker because I saw him actually chew out guys when they screwed up online protections, and you saw it in training camp, the aggressiveness and all that stuff, and looking to get better. Tyler Smith just likes to hit people, but I don't really. I mean, you don't hear. I mean, once again, you don't hear from offensive alignment, to be fair. But the bottom line is, like you're saying, is the team doesn't have any leaders at all levels, and
Yeah.
at the head level, which is supposed to be the main leader, is your quarterback, your quarter leader, your coach, your quarterback is one of those rah guys, which I cannot stand. I hate a leader that's like, telling us who are we? No, I don't want to hear that crap. I'm sorry. I don't care. Yeah, I know where I work at. I don't need that shit.
I mean, at that level, you shouldn't need to be rah-rah too much at the professional level. You should have your own motivation to be the best player you can be.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying. But to start off conversations like that, it's got to be more like, "Hey, we're gonna go in. We're gonna kick the door in, and let's do it." We know what we need to do. Blah. That's it. Not this whole. I mean, Dak jumping on the damn broomstick and whatever that bullshit we saw
That's
this
supposed
past
to be
game.
a leader.
I mean, I saw that and I was like, "What the hell is going on?"
I think, man, leaders are born, man. I don't know. I can't say,
Leaders are born, bro. You got it in you from the beginning.
bro. This got to be you. That's what the point being him is. You got to be him. That is not him. It's a lot of players that's not him.
Yep.
And he's a prime example of that. You got that shit. That just got to be with you. That can't. I don't know. You can learn how to be no leader, bro.
Yo,
You
there are
can.
certain
You absolutely can, man. But I see what you're saying. I get what you guys are saying.
Well,
there are certain
think
people. There are certain people that walk in the rooms and just command the room.
Well, yeah, agreed. But that doesn't always mean that somebody who doesn't do that can't become a good leader in their own right. I don't mean they're going to be the D leader of the defense. But you can have multiple leaders on one squad.
How long is it gonna take that to groom until be a leader then? Because he been
Yeah.
now 11 years, and I don't know teaching him and learning.
That ship is sailed, bro.
Yeah, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
yeah. I mean, I know it's too. He's been in the game too long. I mean, a young guy. I mean, just coming in rookie, second year guy. I don't mean 11 years in the league. No, it's too late. Too late. That should have been
Being a
done when he
leader
first
takes
came
time.
in.
Being a leader takes time. That's what I'm
Hey,
saying.
but
That you got to be
yeah,
born with that, bro. Ain't
Dak,
no learning.
you don't. I don't see it in Dak at all. I mean, obviously, I don't see it at all.
Danny
It's,
Savage, bro. What's
Mr.
up, bro?
Savage, what's going on, man?
What's up? What's up? Hello, everybody.
Hey,
What's good with you,
sorry
man?
to bother, Mr. Savage, but I don't know if you saw my message. I just wanted your take on that one DN from Illinois. I don't know if you watched any tape on him or not.
Who? Jackus? Gabe Jackus?
Yes, sir.
Oh, he's a beast. I've watched him like for the last 3 years. He's like 6'3", 275, and basically the kid he went up against in practice at left tackle was a monster. In a perfect world, I think he's more of a 3-4 outside linebacker, or you can put his hand. Somebody might try to throw him inside the 3-tech, but I leave him at edge. He's not getting the love. I think he was my 8th or 9th ranked edge. I dropped my edges yesterday. Today I dropped 30 safeties and no, I think 27 safeties and 30 tackles, offensive tackles. Tomorrow I've just been backed up. Tomorrow I got to drop 30 guards, 30 centers. Monday 30 corners, and then just fill in guys there, and then probably like another 100 to 200 having fun with sleepers before the draft.
Interesting.
But Jackus is legit. He's legit.
And what about the oh crap! I forgot. There's an N on USC. I usually don't trust USC players, but he's a big boy too. Any names come to mind at all?
USC.
Yeah, USC. Yeah.
I can't hear him.
Hold on.
I
No,
can
I'm
hear
just
you,
curious.
JB, but I can't hear
He
King
said he
of the
couldn't
yeah.
hear you yet.
Can you hear me?
Now you go out and come back in.
He said he could hear me, but he couldn't hear you.
All right. Hold
StreamYard be tripping, man.
Oh, man.
on. Yeah.
It do that shit all the time. Man, sometimes people be talking over each other, but they can't hear each other. So
Yeah. I saw that happen to us just now. The reason I was asking that because I'm just seeing some players who get later in the draft because the Cowboys need ends, but also, like you said earlier, Uncensored, this team also needs freaking linebackers like crazy. It's just
yeah,
it's absurd.
you don't have a guaranteed starting linebacker.
Yeah. You don't even have a guaranteed starting. You don't even have guaranteed starting ends. I mean, nothing. I mean, it's ridiculous. Safeties, all that. It's just trying to find any of that end I was looking at because I'm just looking at these players. Once again, like we were just talking about, you got to grab them in the later rounds. You can't expect to get everything in the first round, And anyway, whatever. It's
We
Cowboys.
definitely, at the point of us not even having a starting linebacker to tell you where we need to go, but
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying, but I'm just saying. Anthony Lucas is the guy's name. That's the one that I was want to ask. Want to ask Danny Savage about 6'5", 285 pounds edge. Just wanted curious what his take is on that. But anyway,
We'll get in the draft and fuck it up like they normally do.
oh yeah, hands down.
I hope not, man. I want to see us do something, man.
Well, here's the thing. Here's my question for you, JB. I mean, would you rather they try to trade up, or just because of the amount of holes we got, trade down at this point?
I mean, if you trade up, you won't get as many picks as you probably want to, go back down in the draft. Going back down in the draft, you could probably possibly get multiple players.
Yeah.
So to me, I mean, shit. I mean, honestly, I mean, from what I'm looking at it, I think shit you can get. Well, trade back might be a little bit better, but I think you can get quality and not seem like you're reaching with our 12th and 20th.
And that's the whole thing that I would like to see them do, man. It's like they just can't seem to draft in those later rounds. And Mr. Savage, the guy I was talking about is Anthony Lucas from USC. But
he's huge. He's like 6'5".
Yep.
He's like 6'5", 290.
Yeah, 280.
He's one of my guys. He's great day 3 value. If you wanted to switch to a 3-4, I mean that's what you want your 5 tech to look like. I mean, but
I'm saying those two guys. I mean, is that even feasible to consider even getting both of those kind of guys in the later rounds?
I don't think Jackus lasts past. I'm gonna say it all depends. Like if you're a 3-4 team like Pittsburgh, I mean, Jackus late 2, early 3. The other kid, Lucas, yeah, he's day 3 all day long. He's day 3.
But you see where I'm looking at, because I mean they claim if CP is honest. I can't believe I'm saying that now. It pisses me off. But anyway, the new defensive quarter is serious about a 3-4. Then those are the two guys that you need to consider looking at, because it's not like it's going to cost you a first round pick to get either one of these guys. But
if they're serious about a 3-4, you're going to draft 2 linebackers in the first round.
Exactly.
Hey, Savage, did Pittsburgh change their defensive coordinator when Mike McCarthy got hired?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
I'm wondering if they're sticking with 3-4 or if they got a different coach. There's not a lot of 3-4 coaches.
No, they're not. There isn't. But I would think they are. I would think.
They hired Patrick Graham to be the defensive coordinator, so they did change defensive coordinators in Pittsburgh.
Ouch. That means you got to change pretty much all their personnel up front.
Wait, referring to Dallas, you don't think Quentin Williams and Kane Clark can man the nose guard position?
In my opinion, the 3-4 nose guard He's like a 6'4", 350-pound monster.
Yeah.
I mean, are we going to spend really $40 million on one position on his zero tech? And Kenny Clark's a little older. I mean,
and undersized.
And on the side, yeah.
I don't think both.
That's why I don't. That's why I don't believe the 3-4 nonsense. You see what I'm saying? That's
I don't either.
But I'm saying if you're doing something hybrids, and you got yourself some ends that can start the process of the migration, I guess, then you have a shot. But at the end of the day, your first two first round picks, you gotta get those linebackers.
Man, we're gonna get over in this 3-4 defense.
Listen, unless we nail every single draft pick, this is a 3 to 5 win team. Listen,
That's true. That's true.
If Rashawn Gary is healthy, he's legit. I've watched him since high school. Since high school to Michigan if healthy, he's a legit 3-4 outside linebacker. So we're looking at him and Ezeraku, who did absolutely nothing, but yet there's a new thing they call splash plays. I don't know what that means though.
The hell
They
is
said he
that?
had I don't know. I think it's a good cannonball in the pool.
They're not putting Rashad Gary at outside linebacker. They're putting him at the 5.
They're putting Louisville outside linebacker.
Nah, Gary's not. But Sean Gary's not big enough to play 5 tech, man.
That's what they said. We got our 5 tech. That's what they told us.
Yeah, well, then we're in trouble. He's not a 5 tech, in my opinion, which means nothing. But nah,
He played well when he first came in, but he lost a lot of weight when 2-3 years ago when Green Bay switched from a 3-4 to a 4-3. He's not big enough anymore.
And he's been around. He's been in the league a good 7 years.
But Green Bay used to have a 3-4.
Yeah.
I forget who their defensive coordinator is right now, but he came 2 years ago and he switched it over to a 4-3.
He was highly drafted. I think he went like 14 overall. I mean, when he's healthy, he's played. But do I view him as a 5 tech? I don't. But whatever. Like I said, if they draft 2 middle line, listen, everyone thinks Sonny Styles is a miracle. It's never going to happen. And my response is, if C.D. Lamb fell to us at 17 in 2020, anything can happen because there's 20 teams. We all know there's 20 teams in the NFL that have no clue how to draft. It's fantasy football for billionaires.
Dallas is one of them.
Yeah, 100%.
Hell, they saying Ty Simpson might go number 2 overall now.
You know what? I just don't get that. I keep watching him and Mendoza. I'm trying to understand completely what these guys are seeing, and guys. Go ahead.
Ty Simpson agent paid Dan Orlovsky to get on TV and say that bullshit about him to get his draft stock up. Because before Dan Orlovsky got on TV and said that shit, the highest I had seen him going was like 24th overall to Arizona or something like that. And then Dan Orlovsky got on there and said, I saw better tape of him than Mendoza. And all of a sudden now the Jets are slated to draft him number 2 overall.
I mean, it's crazy. And then, when you look at Mendoza, I mean, they ran the ball extremely well. Can't hold that against them because you got to go with what you have. But I just think you putting him in a team like the Raiders with all the holes they got, and I mean, he won't even reach his potential. Whether it's, I'm not saying he's going to be great, but he won't reach his potential because you don't have the pieces in place. And
every player wants to go number 1 overall, but it's usually a bad situation.
I know, right? Mm-hmm. I just don't think he has the talent that can overcome what he's going into.
We got Ashton Gentry, don't we?
Yeah, Ashton Gentry's going to get him killed. Ashton Gentry is the king of the lookout blocks. Look out! And I said that last year.
That's true.
There was times like, guys would blitz. He wouldn't even attempt to put a hand on them. Like uncensored, like you said last night. Do something. Try to chop him. Go try to take his knees out. Go take his ankles out. Do something. And Geno Smith, I'll say, is a lot more probably, athletic than Fernando Mendoza. Listen, if you truly want to like study Mendoza, look at his California tape because he was only in Indiana 1 year,
Yeah.
but he played 2 years at Cal.
Yeah. But like I said, I mean, I just from what I'm seeing, even in California, I was like, okay, I mean, he can make just like any quarterback. It's like any quarterback in the NFL. When you give them 6 Mississippi states, they can complete the pass. But when you have, I notice I pumped. Yeah, yes, I went after Dak with that. But you know what I'm saying. But
Champs in the house.
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
Doing good, man.
The champ is here.
Hey, can I make a comment about this Jonathan Bullard?
Yeah, man, go ahead.
So are they gonna play him as an outside linebacker at 290?
Probably. Who
That's
knows?
actually, yeah. Is he gonna do that? Because I definitely don't see him in the middle.
He could be a corner.
If he dropped back in the coverage, I'm throwing right at his ass every time. I said the same thing about Micah Parsons because his ass is horrible in space.
Jesus.
Micah Parsons dropped back in the coverage, I'm throwing right at him.
Yeah, matter of fact, Parsons shit, I run at his ass every damn time.
I got a question. Who was the best free agent that we signed that wasn't a Cowboy?
Gary.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Yeah, Gary. Even though he's past his prime.
Yeah, we signed a bunch of nobodies. Like we do every year.
That's Cowboy 101. Just throw some names in a hat and make the fans happy.
Oh, and then they say, that they showed a person's clips from 2001. Oh, look how great he was.
Hey, how much you want to bet we're gonna draft Jordan Tyson, one of those first round picks?
Check this out.
He's injured.
Yeah. He's still claiming a hamstring injury from last year, and he's having a workout April 17th where he's just going to catch balls.
That's a Cowboy pick.
I'm hearing the Cowboys are looking at Carnell Tate.
I'll take him.
I'd take him. I would.
You know how I feel about him. So
he's my wide receiver. He was my wide receiver 1.
Then you can tell George Pickens to kick rocks.
Peace out.
But you know what? If they trade away Pickens, boy, the Dacarones, boy, they just like they gonna shit themselves.
They don't know football. Carnell Tate is a fucking good wide receiver.
But you can't now. He hasn't signed his franchise tenure, right? Pickens.
Nope.
So you can't trade him, correct?
You can
trade.
Nah, you can trade him.
Yeah.
Because anyone that looks to trade for him, it'll be like 100 or whatever. Just say $100 million contract.
I'm telling you right now, I'd be calling up the Browns office and say, "Hey, you guys need a receiver."
Browns ain't trading for him.
Nah, Browns, they in disarray right now.
Wouldn't they not in disarray, please?
The Browns ain't trading for him.
Nah. They seen him 2 times a year for the last 3 years.
That's
for
what
3 years.
The Browns are in the Archie Manning sweepstakes right now, man. They not trading their first round picks away.
Yeah, they still got like 3-4 quarterbacks on their roster right now, don't they?
No, I'm just trying to trade.
None of them are good.
Nope.
I'm just saying. I tell the Browns here's George Pickens for your 6 of this year.
People get on me all the time about talking about Shedeur Sanders, and I'm always ready for that smoke because he is not good.
No,
he's not good. Hey, Savage, when did I say? Like October?
Yeah, no, of course. But
before he even got drafted.
But I would still take. I still want him on Dallas because half of the Dak fan base would be like, "Yo, put Shedeur out there." They would. Having Shedeur on a team would cause half the fan base to be like, "Yo, let's put him out there. We need something new." That's the only reason I want him on the team.
Shedeur is basically another Dak Prescott.
I
He's worse than
understand
Dak,
that, but at
bro.
least he's not costing $500 million
Oh
at this
yeah,
point.
I agree. No, I agree with you on the cost thing because that was my argument about
He
the
is he
lettuce
is
and
he
all
is
that crap.
worse than Dak Prescott, man.
Yeah. I
I'd
think
still take it.
I mean, if anybody saw his college tape, and if they honest with themselves, they will say that boy is not a first round pick. He's not a starter quarterback.
So people, me and Savage was talking on this was October 2024. And me and Savage was talking, and I said, if you were taking the top 50 players and you drafted them best player available, 1 through 50, Shador Sanders would not be in the top 50.
No,
Nope.
No.
he's the best of
Seven
backup.
months, 7 months later, everybody's screaming, "Oh, he should have been number 3 overall." And I'm like, no, he's not as good as people think.
The best was night one of the draft. I was on a show and they were like, "Oh, when is Shador gonna get drafted?" I'm like, "He's not." I'm like, everyone looked at me like I had 3 heads. I go,
You're
he's gonna go day 3, and then like they looked at me like I had 3 heads, and then they go, "Well, when is Shiloh gonna get drafted?" I go, "He's not getting drafted either." I go, "Nobody wants a 25-year-old undersized safety with off the field issues," and he didn't get drafted either.
And he ended up with on the field issues. He got
Yeah,
cut.
yeah.
Yeah, people let see the thing is people let their feelings get in the way. And I got no emotional connection to the Sanders. I can care less. So it was easy for me to be like, nah, I can evaluate him. So many people they want Deion Sanders' son, not Shador. They want Deion Sanders' son to be successful. And I can care less. I'm gonna be honest. I was one of the first ones that told everybody Archie Manning wasn't gonna be shit.
Yeah, but you know what I find nuts that Prime let the Giants troll him. Like did he really think the Giants were gonna draft Shador? I can't believe that. I'm like, this Prime is 100% of what the Giants are not. Like, and I can't believe he thought he was gonna go to the Giants. I just can't. I don't know. Whatever. I guess they say any press is good press, bad press, good press. I don't know, but
In the end, man, I think that a lot of people hyped Shador up to be more than what he was, and I kept trying to tell people, y'all got to pump your brakes on this kid, man. I wish him well. I hope he does good, but he he is not he was not NFL ready coming out of college.
very few quarterbacks are.
Yeah, and it's not a bad thing to admit it and say it, but if people want to chop your head off when they get the fanboying over certain players. Yeah,
Man,
if people are like, man, that was more than football. No, was it? These teams want to win, man. These teams want to win. They got billions invested,
Yep.
and then my pushback is always, why didn't Tom Brady draft him? Tom Brady went down there and trained him.
mm-hmm.
And then
Oh wow.
Tom Brady passed up on him multiple times.
And that's what people don't want to talk about. Everyone wants to kind of ignore that part, and it's ridiculous.
No, it was talk about even Tom
And
Brady.
then you got people talking about, well, Tom Brady might not have that much pull. Man, get the heck, miss me with that shit. Tom Brady want him. Tom Brady got him.
Yep.
100% of the time.
Yeah, you don't need much pull for a 5th-round pick to get a 5th-round
Exactly.
You tell me the GOAT is saying which quarterback to pick, and they're going to say no? Yeah, right.
Exactly, man. Miss me with that shit, man. People just they so stuck on the emotional part of it. They will shit on another quarterback just to back him up. I'm like, Shador is not that good of a quarterback, man. I wish the kid well, but I just don't see it happen.
I mean, I have to give Tom Brady a lot of credit because even he goes into all the quarterbacks. He calls their misgivings. I mean, he goes after Dak quite a bit too. And us, the fan base, won't say nothing about that either. because he has to tone it back as soon when he got the job, doing what he's doing now. But I mean, he calls it like it is when it comes to quarterbacks, whether or not you can get it done or not. And like you said, he trains Shador. He knows he made that comment with his dad. I saw a clip where you should be in the film room and less time spending time worrying about buying cars, because I think he was looking at buying a Bentley. Yeah, he said that to Shador.
The showman shit. They knew it. I knew it was a problem the moment he got drafted, and Deion Sanders grabbed the phone out of his son's hand and said and asked to speak to the GM. That's the shit they don't want to deal with.
Wow.
Huh.
He go back and watch it. The draft video. Deion Sanders pulled it. I forget what was his name, Haslam or whatever. Whatever the fuck the GF's name is. He said, put him on the phone, let me talk to him.
Yeah, they want to deal with that.
He can do that like Manning did with Eli.
It's worse for Deion because Deion, all respect to him and everything, he sometimes can be his worst enemy, and that's exactly what happened to him. So he hurt his son's draft stock more than
absolutely. He was way too involved. And he was the one. Remember, he was the one that said, we gonna control where he go." He was the one that got up there and said that shit.
We're going nowhere where it's cold. Wanted to play in a dome.
That's exactly. He thought he had more pull than what he had.
I mean,
he cost his son.
I think Shador was really he was drafted in the 5th round, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's about right. That's about right. So I can't even say he was drafted too low or too high. That's about right.
That's about right. Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know what I mean.
But you're a hater if you say that, man. You can't say shit like that.
Well, I'm a hater. It's in the name. So, there you go.
Hey, you're a hater if you don't think Shador should have went number 1 overall.
Oh,
because they set up there and let all of Shador's, Sanders' boys hype him up all off season.
Well, I will say this then, okay, to add to my
you didn't hear any of that shit coming out of the fucking coaching staffs or GMs and stuff. That was all Deion Sanders' boys.
Well, I'm going to say this: the quarterbacks of this draft, honestly, in any other draft, they're not first-round picks. The only reason that Mendoza is the number 1 pick is just because of the position. That's really it. I don't think. I'm going to be honest. I don't think he's a first-round talent. There's my hater right there. So, I mean, Danny, am I wrong to say that?
It is not last year. Indiana's quarterback, they had a kid, Curtis Rourke, played in the same spread offense. He threw for like 37, 38 touchdowns. I think San Fran took him like round 7. So could you say Mendoza did have 2 good wide receivers, a good offensive line, 2
Great
good running backs.
Yeah.
But he's not going to be in the shotgun every single play in the NFL. And under the center, everything comes at you so much. The game is much faster when you're under the center. And the Raiders' offensive line is horrendous. So
that you're validating my point when I said he won't have 5 to 7 Mississippi States in the backfield.
No, he's going to get killed.
Not in the pocket.
He's going to get killed with the Raiders.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, I just don't think I'm just saying, and it's not a knock on him, it's just the reality of because of what that position is, that's why he's the first. Oh, I'm not hearing JV.
Hold up, man. Strange, man. I think this shit. Look, hey, man, I'm gonna have to cut this shit short. I don't know, man. This shit keep going in and out for some reason. I'm losing volume. Sometimes I can hear you, sometimes I can't.
You on your PC?
What'd you say, champ?
You on your PC?
Yeah. I ain't got no. Yeah, there shit go. Hey, y'all. Hey, I appreciate y'all, man. I'm gonna have to cut this because this shit acting up. I don't know what the fuck is going on. But I appreciate y'all for stopping by.
Yeah, it was great, man. Thanks, man.
All right,
Yes,
man.
man. We appreciate everybody in the chat. I'm gonna have to end this shit, bro. Damn. All right, y'all.
All right.
All right. Peace.